ChangLi is going to come in via intro, going to a true sight charge, into resonance skill, into a slamming attack, into another true sight charge, into another slamming attack, into a third and fourth hit, gaining true sight, into another true sight charge, into a slamming attack, into the true sight conquest, and now we have 4 full stacks going to inflamement, explode with the heavy attack, into resonance liberation, into another 4 full stacks, into the heavy attack, and quick swap into Jingxi to finish everything off. Hey everyone, TimaeuSS here and welcome to another Wuthering Waves video. So yes, ChangLi has been released and actually buffed in comparison to the trial version we have been using in the story. And here I am with the CM Bros Max ChangLi DPS guide for you guys, taking a look at the best teammates, the weapons, as well as the echoes. I'll break everything down, including her mechanics and rotations, and her current best teammates in Encore and Chisha. Now ChangLi's learning curve in terms of her combos are extremely insane. She's got a lot of attacks that I can quick swap out and quick swap back in, so this is going to be quite a lengthy video, but I'll have simple rotations in this one, and if you guys are interested, I can do a more complex rotation video after that. But let's get things started and let's take a look how to play ChangLi properly. But first, a word from our sponsor. Are you looking to play Wuthering Waves or other gacha games under 60 or even 120 FPS with the max graphics? Well, look no further. Red Magic 9S Pro is here. This dedicated Android gaming phone is built just for that. As you can see, I'm playing Wuthering Waves here and it looks absolutely gorgeous. And look at this look. Oh my god, I'm pulling for my favorite waifu ChangLi, and there she is, absolutely beautiful. So what are you waiting for? Use my link down below and get your own Red Magic 9S Pro and see the difference. And thank you again for sponsoring this video. Now ChangLi's 4-hit basic attack sequence can be used on the ground or in the air, and on the 4th attack, regardless of you hitting the enemy or not, you'll gain this buff called True Sight. The True Sight buff lasts for 12 seconds and stays with ChangLi even if you quick swap to a different character or back in. Now with the True Sight, you can consume it with your next basic attack, which turns it into an enhanced charging attack, or your jump, which turns you into a phoenix, allows you to go into your aerial combos, which upon landing with the mid-air attack, you'll go into the 3rd and the 4th sequence of the basic attack, which then gives you another True Sight buff. And this is very important to understand, because if you're dodging with ChangLi as well, you're going to the 3rd sequence. So all of your skill kits will be focused on obtaining the True Sight buff and then using it, because when you consume the True Sight buff and then use it on the enemy, the enhanced attack will grant you inflamement. As you can see, the inflamement is a resource above your HP bar. Now you can hold up to a maximum of 4 stacks, and each stack will actually make ChangLi lose some clothes. That's right, best visual mechanics ever. And once you have all of the 4 stacks, you can hold or long press the attack button and it'll consume all the stacks and deal massive amounts of damage. So as you can see, the key mechanics for ChangLi is to obtain the True Sight buff, consume it, use your enhanced attack, hit the enemy, gain the inflamement buff, and then release them all once you have the maximum 4 stacks. Now there are a few more ways for her to gain the True Sight buff in order to obtain the inflamement stacks. As you can see here, this is her resonance skill and it looks absolutely gorgeous. She can hold up to a maximum of 2 stacks or 2 uses of the resonance skill. So each time she uses it, she will gain a stack or a charge of the True Sight buff, and she can use it for an enhanced attack, and then she can use her resonance skill again and use another enhanced attack. And the animation coming out from the resonance skill is quite long, so you can swap to a support like Verna, which we showed earlier, or even a DPS character, because like I've said in the beginning, the True Sight buff lasts for 12 seconds and she can swap to a different character and back in, and she will not lose that True Sight buff, so it's very important. Now the final way to obtain it is of course through her intro. If she comes in via an intro, she'll gain a True Sight buff right off the bat and is able to follow up with an enhanced attack. So those are the 3 ways for her to obtain the True Sight buff. Now ChangLi's resonance liberation is absolutely gorgeous, and you can see she can use it in the air or on the ground, and she slams herself down, dealing mass amounts of damage and also instantly filling up all 4 charges of the inflamement stacks. And whether or not you start with 1 stack or 2 stacks before you use your resonance liberation, you will fill it up to 4. So you can see it's very important for you to use all of these stacks before you use your resonance liberation, because if you don't, you'll see the blindfolding action. This is the normal resonance liberation, and this is with 4 stacks. I mean, mean, it looks very sexy, but it also means that you just went -4 on the inflammation stack. So again, it's very important for you to use her heavy attack because this is essentially the one that deals the most damage. You can see here, this consuming the 4 stacks of the inflammation, this AoE damage is absolutely massive, and you can swap during this, but just make sure that the damage coming out is in segments. So if you're dodging, you can actually lose quite a lot of damage because it will cancel the animation as well as the remaining damage coming out from the heavy attacks. Let's take a look at the in-game rotation after understanding mechanics. We're going to come in with the intro and we're going to charge slam attack into the resonance skill slam attack, into another charge slam attack, into the 3rd and 4th basic attack, into another charge slam attack, and then using another resonance skill into a slam attack into the enhanced basic attack. Now you can see here that we do use a lot of the true sight charge attack instead of the final hit, which we see at the end, the conquest, the true sight conquest. It does more damage, the ground attack version, as you can see right here, versus the Phoenix one, but it takes more time. And of course, when you're using the mid-air version, you also have the ability to dodge a lot of the incoming attacks because you are in the air. So yeah, after that, you use your heavy attack into resonance liberation into another heavy attack, because after the rotation we've seen earlier, you'll gain 4 stacks of inflammement, which allows you to use the full stack heavy attack into resonance liberation, filling up another 4 full stacks into another heavy attack. So that is your bread and butter, and we're going to include the echoes this time. Okay, so this is how it's going to look like if we include teammates as well as echoes. So we'll skip to that part. So here we can start with the echo actually. Get the motorcycle out and into the Verina swap. We're going to use the Verina skill, get the outro done as soon as possible, and Verina is super good at it. Okay, so now ChangLi intros in charge attack, a resonance skill into another charge attack, into slam attack, and then attack twice here to gain the true sight buff, into another charge attack, resonance skill, charge attack, and then the last hit is going to be the ground attack. Okay, and now heavy attack into resonance skill, and then we get the heavy attack one more time. So utilizing that 4 stacks of inflammation into another 4 stacks post the ultimate. And yes, if you see the blindfold on doing any of the resonance liberation, you've done this wrong. But hey, you know what? She looks awesome in that. Now, taking a look at ChangLi's weapon choices, you can see the 2 guys here are very similar in the math breakdown. So you can see here that the first one is putting ChangLi's signature weapon at base 1 copy here at the base 100%, which is over about 12.5% better than the second choice, which is the standard 5-star weapon. And here on this guy, it's about 14.5% better. So you can see very similar numbers, and this is going to be the post buff version, because if you guys play ChangLi in the story trial, you notice that her signature weapon, upon reaching the 14 max stacks, the buff will expire after 10 seconds. But with the full official release of ChangLi, this signature weapon has been buffed, so instead of 10, it's now 12 seconds. So the 14 maximum stack buff will now last 12 instead of 10 seconds. So this is really good. And you can see the stats it brings is phenomenal. You've got attack, you've got massive amounts of crit damage, 48.6%. And within the weapon itself, you're gaining 12% attack, and also each stack of the buff gained from this will offer another 8% maximum. Well, base copy, single copy of the weapon is 4%, right? 4% times 14 stacks. I mean, this is crazy. This is crazy amounts of resonance skill damage. And for ChangLi, all of her skills, especially the heavy attack that consumes all of the inflammation stacks and all of the enhanced true sight attacks, these are all resonance skill type damage. So this will buff ChangLi quite a bit. And as you can see, it is obviously much stronger than the second weapon. Now, the only reason why the standard 5-star weapon is still pretty damn good, despite being the insane tax offered by the signature weapon, is because you've got crit on it. Of course, it's always nice, but also the energy gain coming out from the standard 5-star weapon is very good. Okay, she even post-release has some energy issues. 125 is the current energy required to use the ultimate versus the old 150. So energy gain is definitely welcome, and this is why the standard 5-star weapon isn't the worst. So it depends on whether or not you lose the 50-50. I would recommend you to gain to pull ChangLi, and if you can use the 5-star weapon, that's totally fine, especially with the future unit like Jersey coming up. So that's my recommendation and their breakdown on the weapon choices for her. Now, in terms of the Echo choices, they have 2 sets available, and their recommendation is that if you use ChangLi with the Havoc MC or Chisha, you use the motorcycle, and then if you use Encore or Jingxi with ChangLi, then you can use the energy set. Now, in terms of the substat, it's going to be pretty much the same. It's crit damage, crit rate as your main cost 4, and then the rest attack or fusion type damage with attack as your cost 1. So we're going for the 4-3-3-1-1 build. Now, in terms of the energy gain, you want 110% around that to make sure you get your ultimate off regularly, and then you aim for the crit and resonance skill damage, which is equally as important as attack. You want to aim for, again, the 2-to-1 ratio for all of your characters. Now let's take a look at the teammate options for ChangLi, and starting us off is none other than her student Jingxi. Now Jingxi, being the previous banner limited, has insane amounts of burst damage and decent cooldowns as well, which means there is definitely room for ChangLi to come in to do her rotation. Now they both can do aerial combat, and Jingxi also allows free intros, which means a free true sight buff. Now the next on the list is going to be Encore, and Encore is definitely another viable character, both fusion type in terms of damage, and also a lot of hands-off quick swap opportunities to allow ChangLi to do decent amounts of burst damage in between. And of course, you can use Encore as a swap middle ground, and what that means is that for example, if you run a team with ChangLi, Encore and Verna, if you swap into Verna from ChangLi's aerial combo, Verna will be in the air. But if you swap into Encore, then into Verna, the Encore swap will be on the ground from ChangLi's aerial combo, and then Verna, because you're swapping into Verna from Encore, she'll be on the ground as well. So that's very interesting and key to know. Now Chisha is the 4-star alternative for this team. So ChangLi plus Chisha plus another 4 is definitely viable, and Chisha being the strongest damage dealer among all of the 4-stars in terms of single target, definitely is a viable option. And last but not least, Havoc Rover, with her ability to offer loads of burst windows and time switches, is also a viable teammate. So you can see Jingxi, Encore, and then Chisha or Rover are all of your options. And there we have it. Thank you so much guys for watching this video, and I know it's a lot to cover in a short amount of time, so if there's something you want me to go over in greater detail, I can definitely do that as well in a separate video. For example, more in-depth combinations as well as mechanics that we may not have gone too in-depth in this video. So let me know your thoughts in the comments, and thank you again for sponsoring this video, Red Magic, and I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye now.